I need a booster seat. There we go. That's perfect. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another story time. Today, we're going back. This one's another high school story. This one's a bit more crazy, as you can tell by the title. Cops came to my school. I got the cops called on me. So obviously I went to private school my entire life. So like from 4K to 8th grade, I went to private Catholic school. And same thing, so I graduated there and went to private school for high school. So my class consisted probably 70, 80 people maybe, max, I think, something like that, more or less. But it wasn't a big class. But like I said, so since I went to private school, we had mass every week. So weekly we had mass on Tuesdays or Thursdays, whatever the day was, I don't remember. But you had to wear jeans, dress nice and all that stuff. So we were having this big mass where we just had where the Pope or the Bishop or the bishop was there. All right, so he's the big town dude for our county or whatever, for all the churches, head over all the churches and whatnot. I think something like that, I don't really know, but it was a really important mass. Everybody was family was there, all these people were there. It's always at these events something just wants to happen to me, but of course this was my fault. I did this to myself, kinda. But the point of this is once we start getting all the mass goes on and all that stuff, everybody's taking pictures afterwards and whatnot, and this is where it happens. I don't know what got into me or what made me think this was a great idea or a good idea. Everybody's taking pictures with the Pope, or the bishop. So everybody's taking selfies with him and stuff, he's a famous dude or whatnot. And we're all taking pictures. I remember we took a big class picture, but it was a selfie. And I remember we also took a picture on the bleachers, the same bleachers they were in the last story in the new gym. Yeah. Maybe it's something about those bleachers. I swear, it's gotta be something with the bleachers. I'm starting to think about this. This is coming to my brain. Yo, the bleachers are where I got my heart broke. The bleachers are where I got... Let me not get ahead of myself. All right, so look, we're sitting in the bleachers, and then they say, let's take a class picture with the bishop, because he's here, right? So we're gonna get the bishop in the middle, and we're gonna have all the kids lined up like this, bleacher, like a regular class picture, eh? So we get all lined up for the picture, and I'm here standing next to my friend. For the sake of his privacy, we'll call him Alfred, all right? So Alfred's standing next to me, right? And he's like, hey, yo, he was like, let's meme mug this picture or something like this, right? So he was like, well, let's go like this, or let's go like this or something. And of course, my goofy ass was like, all right, whatever. So I was like this, and we were just making different, different gestures. And then we threw up a gang sign. He was like, throw up some gang signs. He was like this, you know how you do in high school, you're like, ooh, whatever, whatnot. Oh, it's a high school thing. I don't know, or it's real life too. I'm not associated with any gangs, by the way. I'm just putting that out there. But we were out there and we are just like before they were taking the picture too, and they were just all setting it up and stuff. We were pretending how we're gonna pose for the picture, right? And then he was like, what's up, blood? I'm just saying, the two gangs, the B's and the C's, you know what I'm saying? So my dumb ass listens to him and he says, let's throw up some signs. And there's a person in front of him. I'm the very edge. So it's like this, and there's a row in front of us. So people, you can't see his hands because there's a person in front of him. Not to mention, I don't even know if he did it, but I did because I was stupid and I listened. But I was standing next to him and you could clearly see my hands. And I was like this. And I threw up a gang sign. I'll throw up half of it like this. I'm not trying to throw no, you know what gang sign I'm talking about. I was out here looking all dumb. I had my hands all like this. You know what I'm talking about. Put them together like that. And I was like this. And I smiled. I was like this in the picture. All right. I don't know what in my right mind thought that this was going to be a good idea, or thought that it would be funny, considering they're probably going to post this on Facebook, Instagram, all their social medias as a school, because it was just all of us just got confirmed. So we're all together as a class with the bishop, right? So I throw up this gang sign thinking it's super funny, super cool, right? It wasn't so funny. Time passes. I actually threw up the sign. I don't think he was either, but he was kind of mugging the picture a little bit. And I was smiling, but I was throwing up a sign. I was like, so we go up to take the selfie that I was talking about earlier, and somebody's taking the picture. I wasn't taking the picture, but I was in the very back. And I threw up the sign again because I thought it was funny, because I was still standing next to him. I was like, hey, throw up the signs. But they couldn't see it in that one. Thank goodness they didn't see it. But the other picture, I didn't get so lucky. I go to my next class, all jolly, all happy, thinking it was funny. I forget about it, right? But little did I know, like I said, just as I had anticipated, I thought it'd be a joke and I thought it'd be funny. Meanwhile, they posted on their social media page on Facebook for a Catholic school, a private Christian school. They post a picture of me with the bishop and everybody else. Meanwhile, I'm out here throwing up gang signs in the picture. So, like I said, I'm in class. I'm just chilling. I remember vividly, I was in English class, and I believe Alfred was in that class too. And my other friend, she told me, she was like, did you hear about someone calling up the school? I was like, what are you talking about? Someone called up the school and said that you were throwing up gang signs. At this point, I start sweating. I'm just like, So are you serious? So she goes on to say, yeah, someone called and complained about like how someone is throwing up gang signs and this is all gang related and how could they post this on social media, and it was Facebook. So they got mad at the school, and if they get mad at the school, you best bet they're gonna get mad at me because I'm representing the school. And then they call up the school saying, hey,
yo, someone's throwing up gang signs. Somebody's in a gang at your school, a private Catholic Christian school.
And my ass is like throwing up gang signs because I thought it'd be funny because Alfred told me to do it. Oh my gosh. And I'm not trying to put the blame on him because I was dumb enough to do it in the first place. I could have said no easily, but I was trying to be funny and cool and a high school kid, but they're like, all right, I'm going to do it. Boy, was that a dumb decision. So within that same class period, I'm freaking out and I'm like, someone called up the school saying that about me. And I know my face is right there. So I'm like, they know it's me. They know who I am. I don't even know how this happened. I don't know where they got involved. But somehow, someone called the cops to tell them that I threw up gang signs. So, cops come to the school, pull up at the school. I'm still in class. I'm in English class chilling. Like, I know something's gonna happen, but I don't know what. The cops are at the school, and they're talking to the principal and stuff, and they're like, who's this kid? Get my information and stuff. I'm still in class, just in English class chilling, about to freak out though, low-key, because I know I'm about to get pulled out of class for this. And I'm not one for trouble. Like, I didn't get in trouble in high school. I mean, here and there, I do some dumb stuff, but it was never anything serious. I was not a troublemaker. So I'm still chilling in class, and then I just hear someone knock on the door, and I can't see who it is at the time, because I'm like right here against the wall, and the door is right here. So I see someone knock on the door, and I'm just look up, I'm like, oh no, this is it. And then the girl that told me about it looked back at me. She just gave me a look and I was like, and then the teacher goes to the door and she's just talking. Like, you can't see who it is at the door yet. And you can't hear anything. This is in the middle of class and it stops. And I'm just sitting in the back of class, right? I look up. I'm like, this is it. I was not happy. I was freaking out. So the teacher looks at me. She's like, Garrett, they need to talk to you. And I look up, I'm writing my paper. I'm chilling, I keep my head down because I'm just like, I get up. I walk out the class like a champ. My friend's laughing, Alfred's laughing. He's like, oh, you know, he knew what it was happening too. He knew I was gonna get in trouble. They didn't know the cops got involved though. But I know that my friend who told me about it said that someone had called the cops. And I don't know how they got exactly into the situation, but it may have been the parent that called up the school and said, yo, this kid needs to be checked. And I was like, oh my gosh, I did not know what was about to happen. I was freaking out. So I walk out the class. I sit there, it's the vice principal. And she's like, so is there anything you want to tell me? I don't know. I think you do. And they just love to interrogate you. Not to mention when you're in trouble, oh, they love to interrogate you. She's like, so you think it's funny, huh? I'm not even laughing. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here with a straight face, low-key like freaked. I'm frazzled. She knows that too. She just can see it in my face. So she's like, she's trying to get this out of me. I'm like, I think I know what you're talking about. Okay, so you think I know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Okay, well, I have someone calling up the school telling me that someone's throwing up gang signs with the bishop. She's like, I'm sorry. We posted this on social media for everybody to see, and you're sitting here throwing up gang signs, and we're getting calls from people here and there saying about how this is gang-related activity in our school. I'm just sitting there like, all right, I don't want to do this, dog. Like, I'm like, yo, this is tripping me out now. She's like, I know you're just trying to be funny and you think it's all fun and games until someone gets into this and we look bad as a school because you're throwing up signs that are gang related. All right, I get it. I'm sorry. Don't do this to me. You know the cops came up here to the school? No. The cops came up here to the school, ran your name, did a background check on you, saw that you went from this school as an elementary kid to this school as a middle school, and they had all my information. I was like, yo, wait, chill. I was like, how do y'all know all that? It was freaking me out. Like, the cops had all the information. Like, they literally went from when I was a kid, where I went to school, to make sure that I had no like gang-related activity in the past or any criminal background or anything. I was like, yo, I feel a little bit, like I felt freaked out. I was like, yo, this is not right. Like, how are they gonna, they're checking me. I was like, I didn't think it was that serious. You didn't think it was that serious? You're throwing up gang signs in our school picture. You think it's all fun and jokes, but now the cops are in this and involved, and this makes us look bad as a school. Do you not get that? I'm sorry. And the situation goes on. So I walk back into the class after she's done yelling at me and telling me all this information about like what happened and how I did this and that. So I walk back into class and everybody's just looking at me. And class has been going on for probably like 30 minutes now. So I already missed basically almost all the class. I'm just sitting outside in the hall getting yelled at by her. I just look and I just go into the back, and then after class, everybody's like, yo, what happened? What happened? So by this point, everybody knows about how I threw up gang signs, or I threw up the sign in the school picture that got posted on social media. They ended up calling up my parents and telling my mom about it and my dad. And I'm like, oh my gosh, could this go any worse? Like, what else do y'all got to do? Like, they're thinking of everything to just try to make sure that everybody knows that I did this. But at the same time, they don't want anybody to know that I did this. Like, it doesn't make sense. So later on, they ended up reposting the picture, but I had my fingers like this, but I was wearing a black jacket. So like, whenever I had my hands like this, they covered it with the black box. Like, it literally actually looked crazy. It looked like I had my hands in pockets. It was actually some pretty good editing, I'm not gonna lie. But I looked like I had my hands in my pockets, just chilling there. And there was no gang signs after that. And then they reposted the picture on social media, but it was without the gang signs. So the next day comes, and I'm in another class. This time I'm in history class. And I just thought the whole situation was like almost somewhat over. So then they pull me out of class again just to tell me that I have Saturday school, and they're like, I understand that you're sorry, you can just do this and that and this. They gave me a couple of options in order to what I could do. One was Saturday school, the other one was community service. I was like, for what? Like, they were trying to give me community service, Saturday school, and like a detention for like a week or something. I was like, what is this? But luckily, because they could tell that I was like, I felt bad about the situation as is, and I told them I'm sorry, and I like wrote a letter to like, I don't remember who I had to write. I had to write a letter to the bishop. I had to write a letter to the bishop telling him I'm sorry because he knew about it and everybody found out about it. So I had to write a letter saying I'm sorry, just so that way I could clear the air and say I made a mistake. I didn't want to have this bad reputation in myself that I'm just out here throwing up gang signs and whatnot. They made my punishments not as bad, but I still had Saturday school. So I ended up going to the Saturday school, and then everything was good. The cops said this kid's clear. They reposted the picture with my hands blacked out. Not to mention the fact that they said that I could not wear red for the rest of the year because of that reason. So I literally couldn't wear red to the school because it was a gang-related color, because it was the... It didn't make sense. I could not wear red. I didn't wear the same jacket for a long time, that same entire year, until like a couple months passed and they kind of like forgot about it. But at first they were like keeping an eye out on me to make sure that I'm not wearing red because that's the gang related color. And I was like, that's so dumb. But at the same time, I was like, yo, I'm just gonna do it just so that way I'll look clean. I'll look like I have a clear slate and I'm not related to none of this. I don't want like any tension with like the principal or anybody, because then they're really going to be watching me. Because like I said, it's a small school. So that way they'll know if I'm doing stuff or anything. I don't want their eyes on me. I want them to know that I'm a good kid. I want to be forgiven, and I don't want anything like this to happen again. So I go on with the rest of the year not wearing red. They called the cops on me. They checked my background. They did all this stuff. And then they said I cannot wear red. Not to mention I was $20 short of money because they wanted me to come to Saturday school. But yeah, guys, that's how I got the cops called on me. Private school was something else. Anyway, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment. Check out my Instagram to keep updated with all this stuff. I took a poll on Instagram to see what stories I should do. So go ahead and check that out so you can stay updated. My Instagram's right here. Check out my TikTok too, @BubbasVlogs. I'm probably going to be making a video to old BubbasVlogs reactions. I have a bunch of old vlogs that I made when I was like in high school because like I said, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I might make a reaction video to that next. Y'all go ahead and let me know if y'all want to see that down in the comments below. Drop a like, and I'll see you guys later.